you currently still have a relationship with Ye?
Yeah, man, that's my guy, bro. I can't, man, that man saved my life, bro. I can't.
Yeah.
You know, when he, says what he says in the public, I'm a lot more privy to the full conversations versus the public just get a little clip or a little bite.
Yeah. Yo, before we get into the interview, man, I want to give a shout out to all my radio stations all across the country who have the Bootleg Kev Show as an official affiliate. Man, we're on the radio in about 100 cities nationwide every day. Want to give a shout out to Real 92.3 in LA. Shout out to The Beat in Miami. Shout out to Wild 94.1 in Tampa. Shout out to Hot 98.3 in Tucson. Power 98.3 in Phoenix. We 102.9 in Portland. We're all over the country, so you can tap in with that radio show. If you want to know if we're on in your city, just go to bootlegkev.com. The full list of cities is there. You might hear us. Let's get into the interview. Bootleg Kev Podcast, man. Special guest in here. One of the greatest on the planet.
Yes, sir.
At this rapping shit. CyHi the Prince.
For sure.
Welcome.
CyHi, Mr. Egot. Y'all know the name.
Yo, first of all, brother, what has been the whole, we've been waiting so long for new music, new album.
No, for sure.
No Dope on Sundays was a fucking incredible body of work. And it's funny because I didn't realize how long ago it's been. Because I was talking to Ace, it hit me, and I'm like, yo, what? For some reason, I was like, 2018, 2019, it was 2017, dog. It's been 8 years.
Yeah. It's like, to be honest, that's why I named my album The Story of Mr. Egot. I want to give you a little context behind it.
Yes, please.
So, the acronym Egot is Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Right.
And it was thought of by Philip Michael Thomas. So he's the black guy from Miami Vice.
Yeah.
So he had a bunch of dreams and a bunch of musical and acting, things that he wanted to do in life. And he never got to do those things due to politics and people not believing in him. And I think that comes, I relate to that.
Okay.
So being a hip hop head from Atlanta is a dynamic thing when you go to these labels and you telling them like, hey, I got 18 samples. It's like, and
they're like, well, where's the trap song?
Yeah, that too. Yeah. But a trap song is easier to
clear,
release, pay this little young producer some money, put it out, whatever. With me, I'm really trying to do something that's groundbreaking, something that lasts forever, something that, stays in people's lives. And, I have these A-list artists where, unfortunately, my friends aren't like local jokers, if I could say.
Also, not the easiest things to clear because a lot of your homies are on major labels.
Exactly. You got Push. Not Push is hard to clear, but you got Ye, Trav. You got all these A-listers. So, I think it scares them a lot of times. So a lot of things I have to work through a lot of the business side of it to really get the piece of work that I want to put out versus a diluted version of it.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So for you, it's been kind of, so I can only imagine, right? There's probably so many different versions of what your next album's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
On this album, is it, because you probably never stop recording, right?
No.
But what made, because over this period of time, is there a lot of older stuff on this project that was just no matter what, this is so timeless, so good that whatever I do next, this has to be on it? Or was it all new stuff?
Well, I would say about 80% of it is new. 20% of it is stuff that Ye gave me just out of the hey man, try to rap on that, man. I heard you on this beat, and I've always kept it to really add it to a body of work. But I think, at the end of the day, most of it is done in this, past year, year or two. And like I said, it's just something that I'm just working through, just trying to get everything together on the business side, the clearances. These are A-list artists. And a lot of times, man, these labels don't be wanting to clear it because they rather me help the artists.
They'd rather you come and lend your pen. And,
right.
Yeah.
Because it's usually a swap.
Yeah, right.
You get what I'm saying?
I'm going to come and help you out, but I need the feature clear.
Right.
Yeah.
But then they man, if we get this man a feature, who going to do your album? Right. In a sense, So I think a lot of that goes into it, but it's just me, at the end of the day, want to be great and want to put out a great body of work. And it's nothing that, is cheap to do. And I think a lot of times people have cheapened hip hop. So, you know, when you look at, you know, your greatest albums of all time, it's going to take a little bit of effort. And, you know, all the money that I spent as far as flying around, you know, facilitating these sessions. And, you know, I might stay with an artist for a month and a half just to get this feature, but I got to pay hotels, flights, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm doing a lot. So it's just, you know, but it's getting prepared and it's ready to go. So we got a few more little kinks to work out, but it's there.
How are you releasing the album?
So right now I'm with Empire.
Shot Ghazi, Nima.
Because I wanted to be able to see something from this album as well. I don't want to be able to give it to a major and they, you know, not do what they supposed to do. And it's like, you be critically acclaimed, but you don't get none of the residuals from it.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure this time I'm critically acclaimed because that's just what I am. But also I get to see the residuals from, you know,
you get to own your masters. And like the thing about like what's dope about Empire is that they will do the label shit for you.
Right.
But you don't have to worry about giving up like the music. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like, it's a good situation over there. And they're really good at like, you know, I feel like you're the type of artist that like needs to be in those Grammy conversations. And they've done a really good job of like, you know, whether it's like the Freddie Gibbs Alfredo project was a project that was on Empire that was nominated for a rap album of the year.
For sure.
So no, I think that's a good fit.
And they're moving like a major now. So you know they got Shabuzi.
The number one biggest Billboard record of all time is on Empire.
Right. So they're understanding that side of it. And that's what I love about them too. So I just think, like I said, it's just a few kinks we need to work out. But I think on the most part, I think, you know, we're gonna get it together and try to get it out in the next couple months.
That's important, man.
Yes.
Talk to me for you. Like, I feel like, you know, I always have these conversations where I feel like there's a few rap Jedis. I think of Lupe Fiasco, Black Thought, Royce. I don't want to forget. I mean, there's a lot of guys. You know, Freddie's in that convo. I think JID's getting in that convo. But you're in that conversation where you are one of just, you know, one of the guys that nobody wants it with. And when we talk about just mastering the skill of just this MC shit, you are in, you know, a tier of your own. You have very few peers. Do you feel like you're underrated is it because of the lack of music that, you know, obviously, because you have some amazing mixtapes like Black History mixtape I was just listening to a few months ago. We got to bring Dat Piff back. But like, why is it you feel like you're a little underrated? Because you've had these huge moments on records and you have, you know, even when No Dope on Sundays came out, I mean, fuck, man, everybody was fucking, like, I feel like you said, like, that was critically acclaimed. People loved it, but you're still underrated. Why do you think that is?
Because you know what, man? I was talking about this the other day. It's like, I'm just a solid nigga, so I make sure my friends are overrated. And a lot of times, like, I grew up being this high-level rapper, and I've always got that accolade, and I have peers that never got it.
Right.
And they call me, and I feel like I give a lot of my time to their projects. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things, a lot of the albums you guys love, my energy is there.
You're in the room.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not going to say which ones. Or.
I mean, it's pretty easy to figure that out. To
right.
Be fair.
But,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in the room. So I think that's what's, you know, been my thing. And I want to, you know, that's why I named the album Mr. Egot as well. It's just me being a part of those think tanks of music, and you should use this sample. You should shoot the video like this. You should dress like this. Like, a lot of that is my influence. You know what I mean? So I want to be able to show that on my album, and people can actually see, like, oh, this is what he's been giving us for the past 20 years or 15 years since, you know, you really heard me in the, I would say, I would say my career, like, officially started, like, 2009, 10 era.
Right, because Cruel Summer was 2010?
That was on My Beautiful Dark.
No, I know, but I'm thinking, yeah, you're right. You were. You were.
My Beautiful Dark was
because you were part of the whole what was this shit called when y'all had the suits on?
Rosewood.
The whole Rosewood shit and the Good Fridays.
Right.
Yeah, you were on some of the best Good Friday record. By the way, that is one thing, for the love of Christ. Kanye's just putting out random shit right now.
Right.
If we could just get a Good Friday DSP drop.
Right. Nah, for sure.
That shit, that was a fucking era.
That was an era, man.
Peak blog era of hip hop.
Yes.
Good Fridays was like, what was the Talib record? The Chain Heavy shit. The shit with the J. Cole record was crazy.
J. Cole was crazy. Looking for Trouble.
The Looking for Trouble. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a time, man. I miss those days too, because it was like kind of when we were all together. You know what I mean? Not even
moving
just,
as a unit.
Yeah, not even just on the music side, on the fashion side,
Right.
like with Virgil was there, Don. You know, I just think, man, the powers that be broke us up. You know what I mean? I think the powers that be start nitpicking at that situation. You know how it be like when you win a championship and everybody go to Golden State and try to get all the players off the team?
Or the coaches.
Coaches, yeah. That's what happened to us. Like, he got so powerful that people was like, man, we'll take the third string. Just give us Big Sean, come over here.
Yeah.
Don C. Ivan, get over here. Like, so they was just nitpicking at us, and I think that's what kind of like took out those key clogs in our situation. I think everybody started doing their own thing, and then it spiraled from there.
Yeah, nah. What for you, man? That era, you're kind of like, because at that time, like Sean's not quite Sean yet, right? You're like you said, new on the scene. It's really like Pusha T's probably the guy. Because Common wasn't really around. That was kind of past like Common being around the good shit too much. But
but Common was around during that time.
2 Chainz was around.
2 Chainz, yeah.
But I just wonder, like, what was some of your fondest memories? Were you like, because I feel like that's a point in time in like that leading up to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, where it's like, there was an aesthetic about that time period of the good music shit, and it really did feel like you said, like a team. Until it wasn't.
Right.
Until it felt like, well, what's going on here? Like everybody's kind of splintered, everyone's kind of going their own direction,
I think, man, it started with, I would say, Ye was a lot more, I wouldn't want to say focused, because he's super focused at all times. I just think he was taking his time back there. I remember he was writing his raps. That was like one of the things, like he's never wrote a rap after that.
Little things. But those are little things.
Yeah, little things. Like, I remember he used to walk around with this notebook, this little yellow, the little yellow thing. He had all these raps in it. He would rap them to me. And I was just fanned out at that point. That was during that time. I was like,
you're like, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah. Right. So back in those days, I think that's what it was. And I think, it was coming off the Taylor Swift thing. And I think I just think everybody was focused. Everybody was like, we're coming back to like prove the world wrong that this man is the greatest curator, producer, artist, whatever to ever live. And I think we accomplished that.
No, 100%. I mean, I think by all accounts, like the album that came out of that period was perfect.
Perfect.
And I think when you talk about like the greatest albums of all time, there's the Illmatics, there's I think Doggy Style's in that convo, and it's like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
And one thing I want to say, I freestyled my verse.
Off the top.
Man, that shit was like, I was just in there playing. Man, the story to that is so crazy, man, because I had, how they say God gives and taketh. And during that time, my sister was battling cancer, and she passed away while I was out there.
Damn.
And at the same time, I had got a chick pregnant, and she wanted to have an abortion. And I'm telling her, bitch, I'm with Kanye.
Like, you know what's going on right now?
Right, you know what's going on right now. She wasn't trying to hear it because at that time, she was like, her career was taking off. So she's like, man, this little young nigga I'm dealing with, I ain't finna be. And I was just such in a low place. And I'll never forget, I was on the way to the abortion clinic, and Ye called me from like a 808 number, Hawaii number, but I didn't know it was him because he didn't have a phone at the time. He only used email at the time.
He was like super locked in Hawaii.
Right. And I thought it was the weed man from Hawaii because he always used to call me from random Hawaii numbers. So he hit me like, yo, this Ye. I'm like, what? Click. He called me back. Yo, this Ye, man. I'm like, bro, quit playing on my phone. Hung up again. He called back again. I'm like, man, why you play? Like, nah, this Kanye for real, bro. I'm in here with J and B, man. They just told me, man, I got to keep you on this record. This verse you did on So Paul, fucking crazy. He just going crazy on the phone. And I'm just like, I just seen the light at the end of the tunnel. And that moment kind of like saved my life. He just saved my life in general. But that right there, him and Beyonce and Jay-Z in the room all at one time was just...
On a RZA beat?
On a RZA beat, just like, yo, you killed this. Like,
right.
you gotta... That was like one of my highlights. And I always, my dream was always to do a record with Ye and Jay-Z. Just separately, though.
You come out the gate,
I think
dream checked.
God did that. He messed me up, man. I'm like, God, you could have like set that bar like
that was you hadn't dropped Royal Flush yet, right?
That's the album that's the one.
But I'm saying like Royal Flush was
it had just came out.
Or was it okay.
It had just came. Royal Flush mixtape just came out. I'll never forget when I walked in the studio, Ye was playing it. He was playing Stutter. He was playing Sedell Young. He was playing all my mixtape joints. And when I walked in, he was like, yo, and everybody was like, oh, there you go. It was just like the Amber Rose was right there. It was just like, this shit is unreal. You know what I mean? So that was like, you know, my welcome to the industry moment.
Hey, real quick, want to tell you about our sponsors at Odd Socks. That's our day one family. Make sure you follow them at Odd Socks Official. I just got done running a 5K with them and Burt Kreischer. You see the Happy Gilmore socks. You know part 2's coming soon. They got the socks. They got the draws, the most comfortable socks in the entire world, plus the underwear, all of it. Get 20% off. Go to oddsocksofficial.com. Use that promo code BOOTLEG right now. Hey, don't forget to go to bootlegkev.com. You know, we had to celebrate the 2-year anniversary of the most viral interview of all time. Throw the shirt up so you could see it. I turned it down. Shout out to that boy, Big Boogie, a big college in Jacksonville. And we just threw these on sale. Half off for the 500 episode tee. Bootlegkev.com. Go get you a shirt. Let's get back to the interview. What is, it feels like, you know, things are crazy at the moment, but, you know, what is your relationship? Do you currently still have a relationship with Ye?
Yeah, man, that's my guy, bro. I can't, man, that man saved my life, bro. I can't, you know what I mean? And you know, me, I'm privy to a lot of conversation behind the scenes. So, you know, when he, you know, says what he says in the public, I'm a lot more privy to the full conversation. So he gets to explain it more to me versus the public just get a little clip or a little bite.
Yeah,
you know?
I think a lot of the shit that like the point he was trying to prove with some of the shit was like very like understandable. It's the delivery, where it's like you're gonna lose a lot of people with and that's with anything, Kanye or not. It's like the delivery. If it isn't, it's almost like you gotta
because you don't know him.
Well, it's also like you gotta feed, like, you know, if you had to feed your dog some medicine, you got to put that medicine in a treat. Get them to take it. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of the shit he's saying about pointing out like, hey, there's an entire industry that eats off of Black trauma and pain, and it's okay. But if I bring up someone else's, I get that point. I get that perspective. I just feel like the way he, you know. But I think, you know, I'm a fucking.
But like I always say, off record,
I bought the goddamn stem player because I love Kanye so much. It's right there.
Oh, wow, right.
I fucking spent $200 on that thing.
But like I said, off record, if you get to sit around him at dinner, or you get to walk the beach with him, or sit poolside, or take a car ride, it's delivered a lot different.
For sure.
But you know, it's, you know, people don't get to see that much of him.
I got to have like a cool convo with him. I was there the night that Vultures was supposed to come out. And they
I did see you there.
Yeah, and I went with Ty, and that was what was that at the Four Seasons in Vegas? He was finishing the album. It was like it was chaos in that room.
Yeah,
but it was so fucking cool. But this is the first time like I met Kanye when I was little because my brother Ramses's brother is in a group called Dilated Peoples, and they opened up the College Dropout tour. So I got a picture with Kanye when I was like 15.
Wow.
But then I got to chop it up with him at that event, and it wasn't even an event at that whatever the fuck in his hotel where he was finishing Vultures, and super nice guy, man. But no, I wonder, what are your thoughts, man? Because you obviously are really close. You're kind of in this weird perspective because one, you're very much tied in with everybody. How does it feel to kind of see like this Pusha Travis thing happening? Because you're good with both of them.
Right.
And, you know, for me, it's just like, as a good music guy, you know, like that's how Lifted put me on to Travis Scott. Remember the producer Lifted?
Right.
Before Al Faro dropped. I remember Lifted was like, you don't understand. This kid's the future.
Right.
So I know him through good music. And to just see the whole, I guess you know, whatever you want to call it's going on right now. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, you know, like some people are like dream driven and some people are like integrity based. And I think those two things can clash sometimes. And what I mean is like early on in my career, I had a beat that No ID, Ye gave me that No ID did.
Okay.
So it was gonna be my first single, is Whoop-De-Doo with me and Big Sean. I had to just settle for it being a mixtape song because it really didn't even come out because Nas wanted the beat because No ID gave the beat to Nas. Trav would have went on and put that out.
Said, fuck it.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Me, I'm integrity based. I'm like, okay, this No ID, I got this Nas. I don't want to mess Nas. I
might want to do a record with Nas later.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Versus, I should have put that out and reconciled with Nas later. You get what I'm saying? And to me, I think that's what the mindset Trav be in sometimes. It's like, I got this record. It might be dissing my partners or dissing people I love or, you know, fuck with, but it's like, I'm not going to turn down a Drake feature.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Versus like, to me, I'm going to be like, hey, Drake, how you doing, man? Love the verse, man. Appreciate it. It's just this one line. Can you like change that one for me? Just so I ain't in the middle of that, like on the lighter side.
Right.
You know, Trav ain't do that.
Well, I wonder too, because you are also like in a similar, because you helped write on Sicko Mode, and a lot of people would say that Drake took some slight shots at Ye on Sicko Mode.
And that got me in the pickle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I didn't know Drake was going to be on it.
Because that was the one that got, like, that record got finished really, like, close to the finish line of the album being turned in.
Yeah.
So you didn't even know, like, I'm writing on this record. There's these issues behind the scenes, and then the song comes out, and you're like, oh, fuck.
But at the same time, it's like, Drake know whose album and whose song he can do that on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He know that if he feel like you ain't gonna do nothing, he gonna put it on your album. You know what I mean? But me, he can't do that on my album.
You can't do that on everybody's shit.
On everybody's shit, because everybody's like, hey man, Drake, I love you, bro. Verse was incredible, but you gotta change that one.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's how I would have took it.
Yeah. Was that something where you had to like tell Ye like, yo, hey, I didn't know that this.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know he dissed him until I I actually knew where Drake stayed in the neighborhood, because I hadn't like been to his house and stuff like. Well, I had, but I didn't know that they stayed in the same neighborhood.
Right.
I was like lower on the totem pole. I ain't asked those type of questions, but after I figured it out, I was like, dang, Trav, why you let him do us like that? You know what I mean?
You being still super close with Push, being super close with Ye still, do you feel like there's ever a chance to like ever get those two guys together again?
Man, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they both successful, great human beings. I just think they just think differently. And I'm a little bit of hybrid. So I was a good kid growing up. I know I was a terrible kid. Let me not. But I wasn't a street dude until like the 10th grade. Like 17, 18. Then I started getting into the streets. Then I understood street politics and how they think. So I understand what Push is saying, and I understand what Ye's saying. So I can't even I mean, it's nothing that I could put together because I'm not like, I don't have that much cachet.
That's fair.
Really like bring them two together. But hopefully, man, one day in the future we get to like relive those moments. Like I miss seeing Ye and Jay together. Like I just miss those moments. Like
Nah, for sure. We all do. Shit.
that shit heartbreaking, bro.
Probably my favorite tour I ever been to was
That heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Yeezus tour is probably my favorite tour, but Jay-Z and Ye together was crazy. The Watch the Throne tour was insane. Do you you know, I wonder if, because you know, right now it feels like, however you feel about the Kendrick Drake shit that transpired, it feels like it has brought back a certain attention and appetite for rapping and people breaking down lyrics. And, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I got to give it to Kendrick, because when you got a 6.5 minute record like Euphoria come out and you got the whole world breaking it down online and there's so many lines in there to, you know, dissect, you know, and I see the excitement for this Clips album, and their rollout's been incredible, and J.I.D. just did something dope. It feels like that this is like a perfect time for this CyHi album.
Yeah, man, it's so crazy. Like I'm cool with all those guys. Like me and J.I.D. is from the same part of town.
Man, he's fucking incredible.
Yeah, Drake and Kendrick they actually made it so if you can't rap, you gotta sit on the sideline.
Yeah.
And I think that's what rap's been missing. I mean, their situation is a little tricky. I really think people were taking it too serious. Like, it's just a rap battle, man. And that's the way I would want those type of rap battles to happen, because, you know, truly in America, when you rap about somebody, it's some bodies dropping. It's some casualties of that.
Yeah.
So the fact that, I mean, I know they probably had little situations going on around it, but I think that was good for hip hop. I think Drake is an amazing artist. I think Kendrick is an amazing artist, but I think Kendrick is a little more from that
cloth.
Yeah. And I you know what's crazy? I always tell people this. Drake gave it a little more than he should have gave it.
What do you mean by that?
Like I think
he paid too much attention to it?
I mean, it ain't that serious, kind of. It's just like,
yeah, it's almost like it started off with like a line, and the line was like, "Motherfuck the big three, it's just big me." Like, I get it, but it's like, you really didn't have to sign up for this, bruh.
Yeah, but it ain't even. I'm just saying it in a fun like this is what I thought. Like, you know, during the pandemic, Drake had the Caffeine Battle Rap League.
Yep. Yeah,
so you hear them dudes, they saying some egregious shit
for
to each other.
Insane shit, for sure.
And they, after the battle, they smoke a blunt, you know, they dap it up. Like, it ain't no violence or no kind of real animosity towards that. And they talking, I see some of the pre-battles when they like doing the like face-off.
Yeah.
They talking to each other crazy.
And then afterwards, it's like, hey, good game, man.
Yeah. So it's like, if you love that culture and understand that, you know that you really ain't a pedophile. We just saying you're teetering the line, you're too low.
That's why
Come on up.
That's why I think that Euphoria was such a perfect record, because it almost foresaw everything, and it was the biggest warning ever. Like, hey, you could take it there if you want, but just know.
Because I think we missed out on a lot of, like, what's Drake's new record?
What did I miss?
He probably would have put that out during the rap battle.
Right.
If he wouldn't have took what Kendrick said so personally.
For sure.
He should have been like, man, you know, he's a great artist, one of the greatest artists in hip-hop from America, you know.
Yeah.
Salute to him. I'm coming back with my new shit. Wait on this. What did I miss? You would have got that. Like,
yeah. I don't know, man. I just don't know if it'll ever be the same, man.
Yeah, I thought that would have been dope just to get it in that time period.
I just know when that Meet the Grams came out, right after Drake put out that other shit, like 30 minutes later, you get that Meet the Grams over that Alchemist spec. You're just like, oh, it was like a horror movie.
Right.
It was man. And then, you know, the other thing too is like Kdot followed up with like a commercially viable album.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's got the the critic darling albums,
But you know why he did that? You know how he could have did that?
Like-
And this is what I tell Art. He never pandered his whole career.
Never.
He could have did that West Coast album anytime he could have
Instead, he
did
gave
that.
you To Pimp a Butterfly. Or,
He gave you, he gave you everything else.
Yep.
So by the time he needed that ace card,
I could do this too.
it didn't even sound like.
And not like us set the table for him to. Oh no, y'all like that? I got a whole project of that for
That's
you.
what I'm saying. So to me, he's just he integrity, man. Like he's an integrity guy. I know Kendrick. Like
I like
a
you
great
said.
guy.
I think that's why him and Push are so. They're very aligned in that because you just. I mean, I know a lot about Kdot, like some stuff behind the scenes where it's like he watches how people move, and if people move or do certain things, I just automatically know like he's okay. Well, this is how you move. You're over there now for
like when I ran into him, the first thing was like, "Man, I'm glad you okay, bro. I heard about your situation." And this was like 2 years after my situation happened. I'm like, "Damn, bro, I appreciate that." Cause we was on the freshman cover together.
Right. Damn,
And
that's crazy.
Yeah, and we was like, click. That was my best. Like,
was Meek Mill on that too?
Yeah,
It was Meek, you,
me, Kendrick,
Little B,
Big Crit, Lil B, YG was on there.
YG was on there.
Fred the Godson, rest in peace.
Yeah,
Yellow Wolf.
God damn.
I just spoke to Yellow Wolf a few weeks ago.
Oh, you did? Wolf's.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, Wolf's doing good, man. I love Wolf, man.
But at that whole little week we was together, Kendrick was like the one I kind of vibed with. Like me and him was kind of like.
I mean, you guys are Jedis, man.
Yeah, so I respect him. He's
Damn,
a good
that's
guy.
crazy. What a legendary freshman cover.
Yes, man.
You like look back.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny too because I really remember vividly like people not liking YG being on that cover because at that time I don't think the industry really up from a big perspective, but it's like YG's had a fucking career,
right? And he like his aesthetic is super dope. Like I don't know if they knew he was gonna be that. I didn't know he was gonna be that because I think that
I don't think
record,
he knew he was gonna be that. You know,
nah,
he had
but
Tooted and Booted going up, and he had
Yeah.
mixtapes like LA shit going. But I feel like,
But I think LA, I knew he had that potential because he from LA.
that My Crazy Life came out, and just I feel like it was like, oh, this is
LA know how to keep their artists grounded.
right,
Like you ain't got no choice. Then you got to come home. You got to deal with these politics.
right.
So it's like, come on home, brother. Like, so you might well stay, in tune. And I think he just sharpened his image up, put out some great songs, put some great bodies of work. And you got artists like, y'all got a great musical. It's a great musical city in LA with
It is.
Dr. Dre.
Right now, it's feeling good too, man.
all
I
the
feel like
musicians y'all know.
and like right now, it feels like a lot of the industry it's either Atlanta or LA in
Right.
terms of the artists and the studios.
Right.
I mean, obviously New York's still always going to be New York, but it feels like everybody kind of is ending up in LA or Atlanta.
But see, even in Atlanta, like, that's the thing, like, it's harder in Atlanta because they don't really respect the music side of. That's what I've been pushing. That's why my plight has been a little tougher because I've always pushed music, and my city just so street. It's like who done smacked something? Who got
Right.
the bags? Who done laid some shit down? And it's like I feel like that kind of put us, the Lucci Thug stuff. It kind of like made us have to take a step back and evaluate. That's why you haven't heard a lot of music come out of Atlanta. And I think now we about to come
I like
back out.
Belly Gang Cushington's dope.
Oh yeah,
he's dope.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
See, Belly Gang is like what the new Atlanta about to sound.
I'm just
like.
glad because he's like I feel like I told him this. I'm like, man, it's good to hear a new artist rapping about getting it and not rapping about killing their ops.
Right.
Because that's kind of like, it's like, all right, dude, the op killing shit's gotta chill. Like, we get it. Like,
right.
like let's get back to these bars or this money. Like one of the two, you know what I'm saying? But no, I feel like obviously JID's gonna take a big leap, man.
Mm-hmm. And when you think about Belly Gang too, Belly Gang got bars. Belly Gang putting that shit
tough.
together.
He's tough.
He ain't just swagging and trap money with you. He really saying some shit.
And he's super, the thing about him too that I love is he's vulnerable on his records, you know?
Absolutely.
Very open with his shit. He's not afraid to be vulnerable. He's not afraid to talk about his mom and, shit that he's gone through in life. So I think that's one of the most important things as an artist you can have. Hey, got to stop the interview. Want to give a shout out, man. The only thing we smoke, ladies and gentlemen, is Slapwoods. That's right. Make sure you follow them at Slapwoods. And you know, the reason why we smoke Slapwoods, it's literally because they slap. If you ain't smoking Slapwoods, what the fuck are you doing? Get back to the interview. For you on this project, what is like, is there, do you feel like you got a chip on your shoulder? Are you trying to prove something with this album? Because when you think of Mr. Egot, right? When I think of all those awards, there's not that many people who are Egot. I think Jennifer Hudson's an Egot.
Yeah, Jennifer Hudson.
John Legend.
It's a few actors that have it as well.
That's a big thing to manifest, a big thing to put out there.
Right. Well, I think before I was kicked out of school, I was doing theater. I was going to Soapstone. That's what it's called in Atlanta. But, you know, I was doing theater, plays, different things like that. I played in the band. I did a little bit of everything, just being a kid.
Creative.
Yeah, creative. And then the streets just took over. So it was just like, fuck. But I think the way I wanted to do this album is I just wanted to kind of give my life story in different perspectives. So I broke my album, like how Royal Flush is, you know, Prince of Spades, Prince of Diamonds.
Yeah.
I did the Emmys feel like a television show. Grammys sound grand.
Right.
Oscars sound suspenseful, movie score. And Tony is like live drums, spoken word. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like the conglomerate of music that I put together for this album. And yes, it is. I do got a point to prove because I'm showing niggas like, you can't fuck with me on this mic. That's what I'm really showing them. But also in depth, I'm showing you first person, third person. It's suspenseful. It's giving you different perspectives. I got different characters on it. It's like a full-fledged like collage of just art and music with a street foundation to it. So I don't think nobody has ever heard anything like this. Like this is gonna be groundbreaking. Like my goal is to win an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony on one album.
That's big.
So let's go. Let's get it.
It's too because I say that like you were talking earlier about like Ye writing his shit down for that album, and I feel like we've gotten so into this like punch-in culture and hip hop where like people aren't taking their time of making songs as much. They're not taking everything's microwavable, and it's like you can't make timeless music unless you take time doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you got to be intentional with every line, every bar, and it's like that shit's out the window these days.
And that's my thing. My thing is conceptually driven. Like I don't be like a lot of people be trying to compare like artists, rappers to me because they lyrical. Like I'm not lyrical. It's disrespectful to call me lyrical. Like I'm lyrical, but these are things that I experienced. This ain't no shit I read in a fucking textbook.
Right.
And a lot of these
autobiographical.
A lot of these new lyricists are like just smart kids who dropped out of college.
Right.
You know what I mean? That I'm not a dropout of college. I dropped out in 10th grade.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? This shit is experiences that was just, you know, embedded in my brain, and I just regurgitate them into music and then put it on the mic, and it just comes out like that.
Do you feel like, you know, you said like this is your life, and we talked a little bit earlier about kind of the Atlanta scene and how crazy it is. Kind of like, you feel like when you were coming up and doing what you were doing in the streets, like I kind of feel like talk about concepts. So the concept of the last album was very much like there was at least some sort of like unwritten rules to follow, some sort of standards you wouldn't cross in the streets. Do you feel like this new generation, all that shit's out the window?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that is out the window, and it's because everybody want to be famous. Everybody want to make money, and they just go to the furthest extent to do it. Like, I'm going to walk it down. So I'm not going to rush my situation no matter what it is. Like, I've just got to walk it down slowly but surely. I got to hit them all. So I think a lot of times guys want to skip those steps.
Right.
So they expedite they fame or, you know, that feeling. So what they do, they pass the integrity line and go do some shit that's just
for sure.
like, and deal with the consequences later. You know what I mean? But when you're from the street, like, them consequences came back ASAP. So you got to be very careful. And I think that's the thing where it's like the fine line between hip hop is like we have let the ambitious kids in that after Ye dropped out of college, like a lot of these kids are like not from that
Right.
grassroots understanding, like the repercussions of disrespecting somebody, or
Right.
then you got the streamers that just came in.
Oh
so now
man, the disrespect
I
is
was
at an
seeing
all-time
something
high.
like this is weird. I'm online. All I'm seeing is people blowing up firecrackers in people's houses.
Oh, I just saw that this morning.
I'm like, why is this viral? Like,
I just saw that this morning. There was like a Duke Dennis was like running around this house and fucking up everyone's shit and then blowing shit up. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's like this
This feels like a felony. You're like, what are we doing?
But it's like
it's got to be a rental.
But it's like Jackass. Like
it's some Jackass shit for sure.
That was like the only show when we came up that was
Jackass.
Like that.
Yep.
Now it's like everybody's
on Jackass in real life trying to just do crazy shit for clicks.
For sure.
Yeah, it's wild times, man. Can you give us any sort of insight on any of the features on the album?
Oh man, I got some good ones. Well, the family's on there, 2 Chainz. I got Ty, Ye, Russ, Pink Sweats. CeeLo Green.
Ooh.
It's
Atlanta greats.
Yeah.
Hey, Russ is one of them guys who, when he wants to step outside, he had them Munch projects where he was fucking barring out.
Right. I got some guys that was on the album that reneged, so we need to get them back on it. You know what I mean? Like my boy Jack Harlow, me and him we had a record, but I gotta see if I can get him on there, the label situations. And
so he was on the record and then they didn't clear it.
I wouldn't say they. It's just like, most artists, man, when they do a song or do a verse, they want it to come out tomorrow. And I'm not that type of artist. Like, I want this thing to come out when it's supposed to come out and how it's supposed to come out and have the impact it needs to have. And people just like throw music out. They don't have no intentions for it. And that's what, man, to circle back around, that's what make the greats great. It's intentional.
Yes.
Kendrick is intentional.
Yes.
He ain't throwing no shit out
and
seeing if it stick.
Nope. He got because like you said, it's like when you're making music as an artist, you have to be I feel like to be in those conversations, you have to be self-aware of like legacy, of like, where does this fit in the culture? Where, like, how is this going to hit people? Is this going to last 10 years from now, 20 years from now?
For sure. That's how Pusha can just still the clips can still come out and have that gravitas because they intentional with it and people know they going there for that.
And that rollout's just been crazy.
Yeah.
What because Russ put out Chomp, and I think you were on Chomp too.
Yeah,
with who was it? Lloyd Banks was on that
Banks,
record?
yeah.
What was because Russ? A lot of people don't know he came up in Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
What was the genesis of? Was he just reaching out? Like, because I know for those albums he wanted to just get everybody, and just because he's the kind of guy who's always got a chip on his shoulder. So he's like, I want to show everybody I can rap with everybody. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's a hip hop head. He's actually a pioneer of a lot of the way these kids put out music, but they don't have the love for it that Russ has.
Nah, he's a
you know what I mean?
He's got the passion for real.
And he has the respect for it. Like a lot of times people like come into hip hop and really don't have the respect. Just because you can do it don't mean
you should do it.
Exactly.
Right.
So I think that's what makes him great is because he still has the respect for it as well.
Nah, I agree, man. Nah, I think he's super underrated. So album is still not quite finished, but it is coming.
Well, the album's finished.
It is finished. I know you said you had a couple of tweaks.
That's like,
but not like mixing, mastering. Okay.
That's like.
So the album is finished. You just got to get the paperwork on some of the shit put together.
Exactly. So that's the last things we doing. And like I said, when you're working on something classic, it takes that a little bit. So I'm just getting these last bit of clearances, these artist agreements getting out, and hopefully they come back. But if they don't, the shit'll be out anyway, and it'll be without them.
Hey, we got to wrap up this interview. Another one presented by Hardin, baby. You already know what it is. Shout out to Hardin for presenting another episode of the Bootleg Podcast. Don't forget, when you're in Vegas, You getting that taxi, you getting that Uber, say, take me to Hardin, the #1 cannabis dispensary in the world. Premium selection of the craziest gas you could ever ask for. And then they break down what all the terps mean. It's incredible. Go to Hardin_Las Vegas, shoot them a follow. And when you're in Las Vegas, make sure you shoot them a visit. Hey, want to give a shout out to our newest sponsor. You know, I don't like to vape unless it is pure solventless rosin. Want to give a shout out to RokinCannabis.com. Go give them a follow. It's nothing but that good gas. Check them out at your local dispensary, RokinCannabis.com. Salute to them. Let's get back to the interview. Give me your I am curious. I don't want you to tell me who you think is the greatest of all time, but your personal favorite Mount Rushmore of MCs.
My top, what is that, 4, right?
4 of them. Not, again, I feel like there's the one list where you're like, yes, that's like Jay-Z. Yeah, greatest of all time. I mean, your favorite, your personal favorite.
No, Jay-Z is the greatest of all time.
He is. 100%.
Absolutely.
100%. I'm just saying that, like, I think that's the answer. But maybe, like, someone might not necessarily say Jay's one of their favorite MCs, but they can acknowledge he's the greatest.
Nah, he's the greatest, and he's my favorite.
So both things can be true.
Yeah.
So Hov.
So Hov is definitely Mount Rushmore. I would say Eminem is definitely Mount Rushmore. Like, I'm a fan of, like, early on Eminem, too. I guess because I was a kid when he came out. See, I got, like, an underground Mount Rushmore. Then I got,
give me
like,
both. Give me the Mount, and then give me your underground
So
one.
my A team is J, M, T.I., and I would say Ye.
Okay.
Those are my, like, 4. But see, my undergrounds are like Mystical, Big
I smell
L.
smoke. Oh, Big L. Come on.
Mystical, Big L. I would say I was a DMX fan. Like, I love DMX coming up. And I would say, like, my last would be like, man, my last is so ill. I'm going to have to go. It's 2 of them, though.
Give me 2.
Outkast.
Oh, yeah.
I would just love Outkast growing up.
I wouldn't even say, I mean, a lot of your underground lists, DMX and Outkast, not underground.
Yeah, but they was like, I mean, that's just like my A team, B team. Because, you know, Mystical weren't underground either, but
sure,
he was.
But that
he
was
him.
Unpredictable. Yeah, Mystical, when I was a kid and I loved No Limit, like Ghetto Dope and all that shit, Master P, but Mystical was that. He just had that voice on.
He used to be going
on
crazy.
Make Him Say, that verse. I'd be like, oh, who's this fucking guy?
Right. Cause like I used to love Sean Paul from Young Bloods.
Talk about underrated.
Sean Paul was fire.
He never did not eat a feature.
Bo Hagen. Bo Hagen was crazy. Like I used to like the Atlanta artists who was like really
Pastor
spitting
Troy.
that shit. Pastor Troy was incredible.
Yeah.
Like I said, like that was just, you know, all that's in my gumbo.
What's your favorite T.I. album?
Oh man, damn! All his albums, trap music probably.
To me, it's like trap music, or what was the one after that? Underground Legend, or the
Urban Legend.
Urban Legend.
Yeah,
Urban Legend.
But my favorite top 10 rap song is Still Ain't Forgave Myself. That's top 10 rap song all time.
My favorite tip song is Doing My Job, produced by Kanye West.
Yeah. Mine's is Still Ain't Forgave Myself.
And that mixtape era tip, when he was doing the Jagging for Beats shit, oh my God.
Bro, have you ever heard T.I. on Field Mob song?
Which one?
All I know is I've been down this road.
Probably, because I had both Field Mob albums. I had the OG one, and then I had the one that had the DTP joint. I forget which album it was.
And speaking of Clips, I can rap Clips' first album front to back.
Amazing.
I can rap that album like I rap Reasonable Doubt, front to back.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I'm like, I think Hell Hath No Fury is the better album, but Lord Willin' is my favorite. Like, that album meant way more to me. Lord, I mean, I feel like even like I was just listening to their last album from 2009 till the casket drops, and I'm like, damn, this shit was crazy too.
Right. But see, on those 2 albums, I feel like they were just showing off their skill set. Like Lord Willin', the crazy thing is, I was riding back with them joints in the trunk.
Right.
When that Lord Willin' dropped. And my buddy,
I'm from Virginia.
We rode all the way home to that one CD. praying we don't get pulled over.
That shit is crazy.
So it just meant something to me when, because I never heard of him. My buddy was like, man, you got to hit E-Boy. E-Boy talking that shit. So when I first heard it, I was like, oh, and just to be like 20 years later, Push is like one of my best friends. It's like, I be asking him shit like.
Push is like, you know how you said your list? I got Pusha. So my like, I guess you would say my underground 4 is, it's like Pusha T, it's Freddie, probably Killer Mike. And it's probably, I might ride with the Big L too.
Big L was special.
But it's like, then you got the 4 for me. It's like, it's 3 Stacks, it's Hove, it's Nas, and it's Kendrick now. I got Kendrick in that.
Kendrick got that top 5 album too. That fucking Good Kid, Mad City.
It's in there, man.
Whoever made that with him, boy.
My goodness.
Goodness, man.
Yo, whatever. You know, it's funny because I was, you know, I'm real tight with the homie Lifted who did Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to I was privy to hearing some stuff that was supposed to be on Cruel Winter.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that was a thing that was supposed to happen.
Nah, for sure.
Whatever, like, you know what, like how many records did y'all do for that?
We did a few. We did about 10 to 12. But that's when, like, to be honest, that's when like motherfuckers started taking off. That's when Sean was taking off.
That's when people
2
started to pick guys out of the yeah.
Let me tell you something. On Cruel Summer, all 2 Chainz verses, he did all 3 of his verses in 20 minutes max.
Jesus. That's fucking crazy.
Bruh,
was that in the hotel room?
Yes, bro. He in LA. He never heard the song or nothing. They played the beat 1 time, maybe 2 times max on each Mercy, all of them. He just went in there and just like 8 bars. That bitch was done. I said, this nigga is incredible.
Crazy.
I don't give a fuck what you say. I can't even say no bullshit that fast.
I always say Chainz says the illest shit in the slickest way.
Yes, bro.
He be saying, like, his new album with Larry June, the one the Alchemist produced. Oh, so good, man.
Yes, bro.
2 Chainz, one of them ones.
Man, Alchemist, I love Alchemist too. Now I don't know, man. I don't fuck with me. I don't know what it is.
I feel like you and Al could do a whole album together.
Man, what? Come on,
that'd be crazy. No, but I do feel like I remember hearing a song for Cruel Winter that was similar to Mercy, but it was called Trash Bags.
Yeah.
And Push was talking about, essentially, it was like bring the money out in trash bags because you're going to make it rain so much that the money had to be put in trash bags.
Man, I remember that record. That was a real record.
Yeah.
That was a real record.
And I'm like, damn, if this shit came out right after Mercy, I'm like, this is like the Mercy fucking stepson. Like,
that's what I'm saying. That fucking era, everybody was picking at Ye. Like, everybody was picking at his team like, oh, Push, we need you here.
Chainz is the hottest shit, scorching on earth.
Fucking Big Sean.
Yeah. He gets his that dance record going crazy with Nicki.
And he was collabing with Drake. Right. And all them. Now he out of here. Cudi always been out of here.
Cudi's always been Cudi, yeah.
Then he did that Tiana album. He gave her all them damn beats, man. Them beats, man, hurt my soul for her to get all of them. I mean, she did a great job with them, but I was just thinking like, God damn, bro.
Did they ever have you, like, ever discuss maybe you doing one of those 7-song albums?
Yeah, I was supposed to do one.
Because there was that 2018 era. We get Daytona, we get the Nas album, we get Kids See Ghosts, we get the Kanye
Cop
album.
Shot the Kid was my song first.
Really?
Yep.
By the way, one of the 2 songs I really love on that project is that.
Cop Shot the Kid was my song, bro. I had a bunch of songs that was my song. We was just talking about it. Like, I did this song called Flash on the Block freestyle that Camper gave us on the Doja Cat. That was gonna be my first single. I had the No Lie beat with 2 Chainz and Drake. That was supposed to be my single.
Wait, which Doechii song did it end up being?
I forget. It's the first song. I forget what album that was, but yeah, it was Doja Cat.
Oh, Doja Cat, not Doechii. Yeah. My bad.
But it's just like crazy. A lot of times I always got into them situations.
Well, it seems like Nas has snatched 2 songs from you because we talked about the No ID one earlier.
Yeah.
Yo, how do you find out that the cop shot the kid? Because that song's fucking nuts.
Ye asked me to give it to him because he really liked it.
I'd have been like, you gotta stay on it.
But, I just be like, I'm a team player, and it'd be like, you get other beats from, you get other beats from them, and I got a few on this album from them, so that to me is better than those. But
so you do have some Ye production on the album?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I got about 4 or 5 of them.
That's big.
I'm using all of my Ye production on this because it's like it's so nostalgic. You don't get to hear it, and I got the ones.
Right. Yeah, we don't get to hear the Kanye production. I think that we love anymore.
Yeah.
And not to say that he's not making that stuff, because I really enjoyed the first Vultures a lot, and some of the Vulture stuff that didn't end up coming out was incredible. But I love the first Vultures, but it was different. It was very much like it was different.
I'm talking about when he actually touching the ASR.
The MPC or the ASR 10. It's like it's different. Like those days, I feel like. I don't know. I mean, shit, he can
now
do it.
Now he tell you, man, take that fucking snare out, add this
Now
snare.
he's telling somebody to do it. Yeah. Now that's crazy. So new album coming soon. Hopefully, hopefully before the end of summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Story of Mr. Egot. You will be getting that in the next 60 days.
Visuals already kind of thought out.
Visuals already done.
Oh, so you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm just waiting on these last little
I love it, man. Well, I can't wait to hear the album. I appreciate you pulling up, man. New album on the way, and it's about time.
Yes, sir.
I can't believe it's been 8 years.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, me putting out my own personal album, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But, I was going to put one out in 2021, but pandemic hit. So I was like,
See, motherfuckers overthought that.
Yeah.
They pump fake themselves out. So much good music came out in the pandemic.
Yeah, I should have went on and put it out, but we back at it.
Yeah, my guy. I appreciate you pulling up.
Thank you.
CyHi.
Boom. Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Fire.